So for months and months now, you've been preparing and working very hard on getting the S-1 document ready, working closely with the lawyers and spending less time with your family and more time with the investment bankers. And investor relations, really, that function needs to be ready to hit the ground running as soon as you price. So the first thing you should do is that you should make sure that you have an IR website. And there's a lot of cost-effective IR providers out there that can help you host that section of your website to make sure that all the information that investors are going to be looking for are there, such as SEC filings, your news releases. You don't want to find out one morning that you put out a press release and the person that's managing your website fell asleep and didn't wake up that morning and is not available to get the news release up on your website. So it's good to have one of those providers that's what their job is, to make sure that information gets up there very quickly and making sure that that information matches the information that's in your S-1. The second point that you want to do is you really want to make sure that you have a disclosure policy in place. You know, what type of information are you going to be providing on a regular basis? What metrics are you going to be evaluated on? It's good to kind of take a look at other companies in your space, see what investors are going to be used to. What are the measurements for your particular industry, and make sure everyone has a good understanding of that, because you're going to have to communicate them in good times and bad times. Even when you may not like what the metrics are going to be, you need to make sure that you're still communicating them all right every time, consistently. Third, you really need to make sure that all your employees understand what it's like to be working at a public company, because a lot of times it's a major shock for companies to be public, because they might have had, for example, a large thermometer that kind of let everyone know where you were with sales every single week, and now you can't have that information out there because someone might walk through the hallways and see those types of information. And investors would love to get a little leg up on other investors by seeing that information. So everyone really needs to be trained on what they can and can't say to their friends, to their family, what types of things are really confidential. So it's good to either have your general counsel or your investor relations officer really train in small groups all your employees and role play with them on the types of questions they might get, and come up with some lines that they can give out so they're not sharing any information. It's also good to train the executive management team, because investors might go directly to the C-suite executives and other mid-level managers trying to get information about the company. So it's good that they kind of know who should they refer those phone calls to, who's going to be in charge of investor relations, whether it might be someone you're hiring from the outside or an IR agency or someone you're training in finance to really get everything up and running. Everyone really needs to know who they should send those questions to so that they're not answering questions and providing information that they should not be providing. And finally, it's good now, since you've been focused so much on getting that S-1 and you know what all the positioning, now you need to get executive training so that you're not only good at communicating your messages, but that you're communicating in the way that's most effective. So there's a lot of information out there saying that it's not really what you say, but how you say it. So spend the time in getting all your executives trained on giving effective presentations, because they're going to be making hundreds of presentations once you go public. So if you practice all of these steps right after you file your S-1 and before you price, you'll be off to a great start.